Welcome back, everybody, here to the CSGO Championship, a series as we're going into the grand final of the Red Group to see who will be the first team to qualify for the LAN
I just want to
finals.
quickly say I've got a number of tweets in the last 30 seconds saying the stream's still black, but audio's fine. Just refresh. It should be right back up. Twitch is absolutely fine.
If you can hear us, walk towards the refresh button.
Follow our voice? That doesn't really work.
Find the F5 button.
There you go.
Or if you want to be the CS sticks, find your F8 button.
There you go. So now we've got it. So we've got our grand final laid out in front of us. It's going to be EnVyUs versus NiP. Winner of this directly invited to DreamHack Bucharest. Loser has to do it the hard way, just like everybody else we've already seen. Penta and Virtus Pro from the last chance qualifier. Karn, what do you think?
It's going to be interesting to see them. Like, in the past two majors, they met each other once in the grand final. This is at DreamHack Winter, where, former EnVyUs, I would say, LDLC, came out on top. At the semifinals here at ESL 1 in Katowice, it was quite surprising the manner NiP managed to overcome the French by beating them in 2 maps straight, Dust 2 and Cash. Just some quick map predictions. I would be very surprised if we end up on Nuke, Cobblestone, or Overpass, especially not Overpass, because I think NiP was sitting there quite comfortable watching who we're going to play next in the grand final. All right, Overpass seems pretty strong for EnVyUs. Let's avoid that. But yeah, generally speaking, this will be a match where I think the team that's managed to keep up their stamina up and just staying focused, because it's getting quite late. The players have played so many games over the past days and week.
Even tonight, EnVyUs had to go through that,
they had
huge ordeal.
Yeah, they had a longer journey here to the grand final.
We've casted 3 and overtime of a 4th. They've played that many. They've played 3 best of 3s tonight. This will be their 3rd.
Sure. So that's something we have to take in consideration as well. I think NiP, though, threw in another online game when they were waiting Face It, I believe.
So no surprise at all. NiP gets first ban. It was Overpass gone. That was easy to predict. And they went ahead and took out Nuke for EnVyUs, so you were dead on there, Karn.
Right, so Mirage is going to be interesting. We saw EnVyUs again playing with a lot of confidence. ST at Mirage, that's going to be a trouble when you're playing Alu, because he's dominating middle. He's not concerned about taking a shot or 2 from the connector, from the house, or sometimes even go catwalk. And as well, Forest can pick up AWP in B. Whereas I've seen like somewhat of a weakness in EnVyUs CT play, that would be MBK in the way he's currently at least protecting B. He tries to jump all the time, and I think kind of the move he's doing is put him at a very difficult spot, because he got sniped a few times by Chris J, for example. Kind of happily invited the Penta guys into that bomb spot and planted the bomb. But yeah, Mirage should be a fairly open map, though. I can't really point out one favorite in this map.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, man. I look at NiP, and they've also been very solid in this one. Obviously, they were never really fully tested, I don't think, tonight. Like, with the pickups, as you was mentioning before, Alu is very stable in the mid. So I'm not really feeling NiP is going to have any problems with this. I think it's definitely going to be massively CT-sided from both these teams. I actually find the breach on the Ts is going to be probably the hardest thing for this map.
And much like you said that NiP switched up their Inferno with Get Right now toward A, Forest back over toward Banana with Freiburg, they also had a change in this map on Mirage. Get Right's no longer on Cat, where he's been so many times. It's Forest that's actually there. He's back over toward A. And I have to say, I was impressed with him. I thought Get Right did a great job holding the top of connector earlier on today.
Similar to what they did on Inferno, right? Get Right and Forest just swapped sides and they see how it goes. Reminds me of back in the days when you had like a major. This is not exactly a perfect comparison, but after majors, people just kind of swap roles and positions just to kind of create a more, but a different style of playing the game. And I think it's actually something that teams today should have in consideration, because not only are you automatically a little bit less predictable, because every player has different patterns, right? When you see someone, you react in a certain way, and your brain is kind of hardwired to do certain movements. That's great, so you can get some more diversity into your game, both as T and CT. But furthermore, it also makes the former player when you swap role, you have a bigger understanding of how the map dynamics works, the angles, for example, and maybe later on you can swap back.
Yeah, and then you know how your teammate's playing.
Exactly. So you were maybe for the longest period of time you're seeing like, play, oh, you guys should learn how to protect bomb spot B, but then you're there. Okay, maybe they did a decent job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's all good news, because then your chemistry with the teammate works off a little bit better, too.
Yeah, I want the short term, though. Probably something I can advise my guys is to maybe just have one day every practice week where they just swap roles and try things out, because so they learn all the spots, all the angles, and all that. Because I think Overpass, Cobblestone, these are two maps which are considerably quite new in the game. So there's a lot of kind of learning still to do. Whereas that's 2 Inferno and of course Mirage, pretty much every player knows all the spots and all the tricks and things you can do on the map to gain advantages.
Map's been played and played again. I just want to ask you a quick question. This is a bit off topic. I got it tweeted to me for Karn. After ESL, who's your top 5 teams right now? And
so Fnatic and IP, Virtus Pro, EnVyUs, and then I have to pick a 5th team. Which one would that be? Yeah, that's a good question. Can you name drop a few?
TSM maybe.
I would say
Na'Vi. I wouldn't say Na'Vi's there.
Yeah, I would probably put TSM there actually.
Cloud9? No, just kidding.
No, not Cloud9. But TSM surely. But top 4 is quite clear, I'd say. But it's getting a bit more difficult when you talk about top 5.
So we are going to get our way into the map, and of course, because it's already coming from the upper bracket, NiP was actually given the benefit of side choice. Interestingly enough, they're starting out on T. So they want to do it the hard way, get things underway, and figure out what they're going to have to do in a defense.
Yeah, it's really weird for them to do that, but at the same time, we've heard in the past, NiP, they like to play the aggression. They're going to attempt to do it now onto the A site. And Alu, as well as Freiburg, able to get that clearance out. So the A plant's already going to go down for NiP. Smith is still sitting on top of the A stairs, while Alu is keeping MBK stuck back down in that CT spawn. So we just spiked through a little bit. MBK has dropped down Happy. He's able to get a revenge kill on the Forest, but there's still 3 players holding the A site. Very, very deep, and the time is ticking. There's no kits available for either of these players. There goes Happy. There goes Smith. He brings one with him, but NiP will take the first pistol round here on T's.
So that's a good start. It's the start they're looking for, and it was an excellent play to get inside of the A site. Alu coming out of those apartments was just an absolute burst, and you can see on the replay, 2 for him all the way through to the back of the site. They'll go for the scout for Smiths to try and get some early damage potential. Not surprising at all. We're going to see that gun come out. It's actually going to be on the back side of the stairs at the A site, just below where our camera's showing off right now. But look at Keo getting aggressive, pushing out. That's Alu down. Forrest responding, though, with that UMP. And look at Smith trying to find this jump shot. Oh, does get it on Forrest, looking for more. Freiburg hits him over top of the box. Thank goodness the jump scout's been canceled.
Freiburg knew he was going to come up. It's so predictable to see it. Now MBK taking his space. With that CZ auto, Freiburg Happy just basically sits nicely on the seat and gets brought down. So another plant for NiP, another good push in. They do lose a couple of players, but they hold on to the AK, they hold on to the Galil, and just a really great start. Alu actually managed to claim 4 players as well before in that first round, instead of just the 2, so he's sitting at the top fragger for NiP. And NiP, this time they're going to mix it up a little bit more.
And they're going to go for a stack A side for EnVyUs as well. So Keo's up in shadow, Smith's on site, Shock's in the hiding spot in behind the box.
I look towards that mid player. Like, Get Right's the man that could just open up that mid connector for them.
Well, and even more so, get information. If you can figure out that there's no one over toward B.
Happy's pushing up.
Well, yeah, and if Happy goes out and takes him and keeps him out of this, then NiP's going to walk into it. Forrest is already going through, and Happy's caught Get Right off. That's a free gun for the retake, and now they're walking into this stack. They're going to have to be very careful. And luckily, Forrest and Freiburg, so good on their entries, pick up one apiece. And then the nade, the Pokeball, going to take out NBK. So it's all left up to Happy, who tried to go forward and grab Get Right's gun. He's in connector. This bomb plant's going to go down, and Forrest and company should be able to collect this 3rd round.
Freiburg with the nades. It's been amazing. Forrest, he's gotten 2 breach nades already over onto A, which have claimed lives. So Ninjas in Pajamas, they're reading EnVyUs' spots perfectly. This was something which we saw with their map on Cash in the ESL 1 matchup, where NiP, they just knew everywhere where EnVyUs were going to be, and they just systematically moved through spot after spot after spot. And EnVyUs like, well, we got weapons, but never getting the advantage because they're always getting picked. Ninjas in Pajamas will have to slow this one down. Again, though, they're looking to the A side. The bomb is just sitting back at T-spawn. But they do have 3 committed in for the short A.
So interesting how they're trying to read right now with those 2 players over on the B side in the apartments, just sitting by the doorway.
A lot of defensive smokes.
They're expecting a push there or something along those lines. They boosted up to watch for it, and they actually are going to get it. So they're reading Happy perfectly. They won't see his feet just yet, but if he goes forward even a little bit further, Forrest will have that information. And they're actually starting to favor toward that side as well. So if Happy gets a little too happy, they'll have him dead to rights. They're still trying to wait for it. They're being very patient in doing so. NBK is getting a little bit cheeky on the corner at Catwalk as well, and here they come around. Look at those lasers just edging out the angles. Process of illumination, checking everything. They'll smoke off the window late just in time to make sure that Smiths couldn't get back there to hold off mid and spam away at the corner. Here comes Happy, though. Here's that exchange. Forrest is just to his left. Is he going to spot him? He does get the better of it. Forrest looked too far to the right when he came around the corner.
That's not going to stop Freiburg, however, from pushing up through that catwalk area. Zalu, we won't get to see the response to that one. He did actually kill off Smiths while they're pushing up through catwalk. But Shocks into the kitchen, looking to do a dinner, serving up NiP. That's Freiburg able to finish that one off. Alu with his second now for the round, and leaves our last player, Keo, back inside of the kitchen area. And he's trapped. They're watching from both sides. That's Alu with the op. Gonna miss the shot. And in fact, will lose his life, in fact. The bomb is ticking down, and Keo back to the cash register. Takes out Freiburg as well. So only 2 players left, but Keo is happy with what he got. He knows he can't take any more. Wants to save the M4. Exist will save the AWP for NiP, but the 4th round belongs to NiP.
So only 1 gun to work with now for EnVyUs this time. Flawless start so far for NiP. 4 T side. EnVyUs in our first match against Penta had a great T side. Against Virtus Pro, not so much. This was the map they actually dropped against them, which more than likely was one of the reasons that NiP chose this early on to go against them. So that 1M4 for Keo is going to have to be strong. He does have a front spawn. He's going to walk it over toward A, 3 heading toward B, and NiP is going to contest middle. Yeah,
they're moving so quick. This is the man with the front spawn. As again, Forrest, that distraction you're talking about over on the A. He has been smoked up, so there's nothing you can do apart from spray. But NiP, there's no one this time over on the catwalk. Instead, they have to look towards connector where Smiths is. He's just able to get the upper hand on him. There's still window. In fact, actually, no, Keo's moved back. So there's no one in window anymore. He's back over towards jungle, coming into connector. They need to see vision over towards that catwalk. And now, while they get the vision, it's also brought with a bullet to the eye of Keo. 2 players defending very tight on the site. Smoke down one side. There's a reveal of MBK. Second player now going to jump down. Happy brought down. And NiP with a flawless round, not losing a single player, 5-0. And I suppose my words being shoved back down my throat of EnVyUs having a good CT half. Right now with 5-0, Ninjas in Pajamas choosing the Ts, and rightly so. They are rolling so much momentum. And
they've got the op out, though. They finally got the op out. It's Happy that's going to grab it, but he's not going to go to window. He's going to go toward catwalk with
Alu.
it.
Where's the pick?
Well, he's already around the corner, but like I say, no one's there. They're going to try and play this from connector and the off angle from the cat, so no one directly in window. Smiths is going to support with Shocks, so even if they push up, there's a good crossfire set. Shocks is watching that underpass. Forrest is heading that position right now, so this is where the exchange is going to be. Happy's got the first initial peak, but couldn't get the damage. Actually takes a brunt of it in response. Down to 21, forced all the way back to the far side of that window. And the nade, that flashbang out, forcing Shocks out of the stairwell and to peek that underpass.
NiP's coming back A. They couldn't get the pick off in mid. It looks like they're committing over towards the B side, and they know at least one player has moved off the A. So there's only one on A stairs and one sitting on the site itself. It looks like the movement is coming back. So Happy. He's only got 21 HP. But
good
it should be enough to get the first pick.
Good crossfire up close in A, though. Keo was in shadow. He's fallen back now just to bomb box, but Smiths is also over on the sandwich.
Alu getting picked out by Shocks. So they've lost the AK in the mid. Smiths, he's tanking up the molly so he can come out a little bit later. Freiburg is not going to stop him from getting the kill. They still have to find that one on the site. Keo is there, blinded, now exists. He sees him, but too late. As MBK up on the stairs. Freiburg bound in that cubby. He needs to find some level of opening here with a 4-on-2 situation. That's not going to be there. A 1-for-1 trade is not enough for NiP to take this round. It looks like EnVyUs, and there it is. EnVyUs will take their first round of map number 1.
Good retake, good control. Excellent play from NBK up on top of the stairs at jungle. That smoke held out Forrest below him. He couldn't quite get the line of sight onto him, but he got the kill in the end. Shocks did a good amount of damage as well. NiP's entry wasn't too bad. That Molotov up close on Sandwich did force Smiths out of hiding, but even though he went down, they couldn't get much more than that, and they just didn't smoke off the site correctly. They still left a bit of a gap at the top of the stairs, and like I said, that's where MBK took full advantage of it.
So here they come. Breach through high. And Shox, the crossfire that was also there between Keo and Shox. That's too much. Ninjas in Pajamas are going to fail in this push. Exist at least is able to pick up one. But I doubt he'll get more. Molotov's coming his way, and he has to back up. He's got the bomb, and he's even going to get flanked.
Keo's aggressive too, so he won't get anywhere. Happy's already found him. So 2 good rounds in a row. Economy's still decent for NiP, though. They had such a great start. Freiburg had 9 kills to start things off. And they'll be able to buy out 1 more, but this is all they're going to get. In fact, they're going to get 4 straight to the op. Yeah, okay, so 2. I didn't see Alu grab one as well. So what are the spawns right now? Alu's going to be your first to the corner. Forrest is also heading that direction. He's going to go up and toward the apartments and pick in toward B. So they're going to try and open up both sides.
It was actually get right.
Alu didn't go for that peek, though. Happy beat him there to the wall and, or pardon me, to the window, and Alu knew he didn't have a chance, so they smoke off the corner. He's going to try and get himself a little bit deeper over to the left side of mid to get this shot, but Happy's already gone and made himself at home at B.
Forrest tried to find that pick, but yeah, good luck for that one, man. With Molly and Smoke, you're not getting anywhere near that. Exist up through connector, however. They let him have underpass, and he knows Smiths is there. Smiths banging through the box, finally pokes his head up. Taking out Exist, but Freiburg knows exactly where they are, so they just keep the spray coming. But Smiths, man, that box is made of lead. They just can't take him out. Now finally Freiburg can come in. Mainly because
the greatest GoTV glitch ever. I'm just doing circles around the dead body.
Really? Disco, man. Happy. That'll take out Freiburg in the middle. They're getting flanked. They have to look behind themselves right now. Both of these AWPs, they're going to get lost as Shox takes out Alu and Forrest, leaving the last remaining player, Get Right. He doesn't have the bomb. He's just trying to breach into B, and he didn't see where MBK was. All a little bit too late. And Ninjas in Pajamas, a very, very costly round, losing both of these AWPs.
And they were going to have to save regardless.
But it's also because both the AWPs now in the hands of EnVyUs.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had to save it. Like, they could have forced out 5 Galils right now if they wanted, but that's not worth it. Not in this game. They've already got 5 rounds to their name. If they want to get more or take a full advantage of this half, they're better to just save it out early and play later for those rounds rather than breaking their economy and buying too many times and never really getting a cushion to get back into it. So, double op was worth it where they were going to be in this situation regardless. But I have to say, EnVyUs has looked a lot more confident on their defense. Again, MBK is going for that jump spot at B, but Shox has found them in middle, and look at the positioning of them. Happy's now on the catwalk. He's going to catch out one more. That's Get Right to go down. The bomb's with Alu. He's coming up from the underpass. Of course, he's only got that pistol, but they're all over him. There's nowhere for him to go. He gets one, but that's all he's going to get.
The initial shot from Freiburg kind of needed to connect to bring down the CT connector, because when that ended up happening, like the run came out from, I think it was actually Forrest that did it, and then Freiburg walked in front of the CT connector, and yeah, didn't look up. They were looking too many different directions. He got flanked up by Catwalk, and that's what we call the sandwich effect. And then the push. It's split up again. So there's distraction players. Forrest and Exist teaming up together to take out the underpass area. It's a very thin defense from Envy now in the mid. But there's still that one player. It's Get Right who's coming through Palace. He's not moving up too far. Happy with the AWP. Gets the pick over on Forrest. And then now moves up even more aggressively so he can see deeper. Get Right, so it's able to bring down the flankers. They're keeping it tit for tat until Exist will drop. And Alu was the man trying to get that pick into apartments. But he's looking too late. The aggressive push came from Happy and he just backed it up. When it's a 3-on-3 situation and MBK sitting on 5 HP, they have to do something to stop this. Is Freiburg patient enough? I don't know if he knows if Keo has pushed in through Palace.
Alu's going to be coming around the corner just when Shox shows up. He takes him down, but Get Right could have had that opportunity to try and push through A and secure it further. Instead, he's going to watch for this angle for Shox to exit out of Palace, but that gives MBK the chance to get to the backside. Oh, they've got to be careful. They've got to be so careful. Get Right's going to go all the way through to jungle. Freiburg's now going to be the one that has to take care of Shox and Happy. Great shot coming through the vent, so Get Right's down and out of it. And Freiburg's completely surrounded.
Yeah, he knows where all of them are, however. With that Molotov coming out from CT, he knew one jungle, one CT, and one inside a palace. So he's got all the information he requires. He just needs to hit the shots.
Oh, he's going to try and just go for this plan. He only had 3 seconds left. So he had to stick it. There was no way he was going to get both kills. At very least, he would have got money for the team, but instead he gets nothing at all. Now we've got a tie game. Good response from EnVyUs.
This is the more like the play we're expecting from EnVyUs on the CT side.
By the way, this also means the money bonus is in full effect now for NiP as opposed to how it was at the original start of this game when it was EnVyUs, so it's gone completely back the other way. Happy's with the op again, by the way, and he's going to go back to cat with it. So he hasn't gone to window with it yet. He's been playing it from the catwalk angle.
You have to peek out through the side. And she's not even going to peek. They wait and stay defensive. NiP, this time they got a full commitment over to the B side. No floaters from Forest. Freiburg, damage. Coming into Happy, down to 67 HP. They get blinded in the middle. Alu's trying to help him out. But they cannot find an opening until finally Shox will go down in the window. But that's still not much of an opening. The best opening they can get is their push up through B. Into the apartments. Now the battle in mid. There goes Alu. It's only the last player left alive, Forest, in apartments. In fact, he's down on top of the truck, but Kyo can see him. It's almost an impossible task for Forest. He's been watched from 3 different angles.
Happy just held the bomb site. Didn't give him anywhere to go. Crossfire was set. So now it's 6 in a row. Half turned around. This was looking very good for the Ninjas at the start. But the Frenchmen have put away the white flag. They're going to sail their own, and now they're going to get into it with an op out for Happy. They're going to go right back to him. And this time, let's see if he goes. No, he's still going to go to catwalk. So he likes that angle. He really does. He can, of course, reverse back to apartments, and as we saw, hold off that bomb site a lot quicker, but that means Shox and Smiths have to play together over at connector. Smiths this time's actually on the back stairs. Kyo's gone to shadow, so a bit of a different formation for them at A. Oh, great nade. Shox going to tank that one down to 52.
That was prepped by the smoke nade. They realized there was only one small corner from connector that you could watch from there, and then the nade, they just threw it out in him to see if Shox was aggressive enough to look for it. MBK holding the top of the apartments. Going to make it difficult to bring that bomb up for NiP. But if they can bring down that mid, nope, they can't. Freiburg sniped out by Happy. That was from catwalk. And already EnVyUs are moving themselves over. 2 heading into jungle, and they just leave 1 behind in A. But the push is on the way in for NiP. Good flashes. In fact, good counter flashes as well, stopping NiP from getting out. Exist is blinded by the light. But they do manage to get the entry frags. But they cannot get the following ones. That's now a 1-on-2 situation. Alu, the man to do it up against Kyo. Kyo a little bit late into the site. He was that floater that was just left back over on the A. He tries to find the opening. Alu, he does have the bomb moving all the way around the side, and he sees him in there, and the shot, it goes the way of Kyo. So EnVyUs, they hold the advantage for now. 7 rounds to 5 in this first half.
Now mentally, you had momentum early. You've lost it. The wind's out of your sails. Be great to get another one before halftime, but if you don't, you're giving a full head of steam to EnVyUs going over to the harder side. Ninjas are going to have to find a way back into it. They've got to stay composed. They are a team who's very composed in that regard, but time to show it again. A little bit of that magic to make its way out. Alu's going to go with Get Right this time up toward Palace. They're going to smoke that off in the form of EnVyUs. So Kyo's up above on that balcony looking directly at the doorway, but here comes the executions. Nades over, Chinese fireworks in toward that site, and Exist has to run through the fire. Speaking of it, he's going to have to go because his teammate made the decision, and oh, that slow draw time at the CZ can't even get it out. So Shox tears them apart, and NiP get nothing once again.
And that's rough, but at the same time, we're looking at a buy now. So Alu's able to pick up the AWP, and Freiburg, Forest, Get Right, and Exist. All AKs, everything they're searching for. I want to see this mid pick. Is Happy? No, Happy's not. He's taking the AWP over to B. He's looking over towards the apartments once again. Which means Alu gets to have the freedom to try and pick off these M4 players in mid. While Exist comes in from behind, or I should say, below. Okay, so Happy did in fact get over to catwalk. Takes out his counter AWPer. So Alu's going to drop. Defensive smoke from Shox. It'll make it easy to find the pick over on Exist, but he doesn't need to. There's a small gap there.
Oh,
that lets him see the
flashes
catwalk and
way
just
out.
walks in. Perfect play by him. He got a 3 for in the last round, and now NiP just gets shut down by him again.
And this is typical EnVyUs. Now that they've got confidence, look how aggressive they are on their pushes through these smokes. Smith's again taking full advantage of mid. Not the first time we've seen him do it. In fact, I think that's the third time we've seen him get that kill at the top of middle late in the round. Freiburg, all that's left.
Bomb's too far away. He got scattered out by EnVyUs as well.
Keo's got eyes on him. Oh, Freiburg actually going to get that kill. So now if he runs back to the bomb in time, he might be able to at least pick it up. He's still got 30 seconds. He could go the long way to A, and NBK's aware of that, so he'll go back over in that direction. Freiburg's not going to go for it. Happy's going to get the kill. So 9 straight rounds now for Team EnVyUs.
He only needed a millimeter of vision on that head. I mean, the AWP very deep inside a cat for the short. Ninjas in pajamas, they're losing control of this. It's the last round. They want to get at least one more if possible. I don't have full bias, and it looks like it's going to be a fake to A with the bomb floating to B. If they can bring enough of those mid players. In fact, look at EnVyUs. They're already running straight back up the mid. It's Shox who's up all the way up the mid, trying to get some information. And potentially split Ninjas in pajamas in half. Oh, they're coming back. 4 players from EnVyUs just sitting on this A side. Which means if you can get that initial frag over an MBK, then you got a chance of just taking the B. But that's all in the hands of Forest.
They went aggressive, too.
They're coming
on
back.
The early defense. Yeah, Shox is back to window.
But the funny thing is, Forest did the shot. So then you bring one to window, you brought a second player onto the B side. So now Ninjas in Pajamas can try and breach. And Forest is doing all the smokes, all the flashes, as though they're legitimately pushing into B.
Shox isn't fully sold, though, because they haven't made a presence yet, so he knows that that's a standard fake play. Happy's also coming back, and Keo's going to annihilate them. He doesn't even care. He's going to do it all himself. Shox finally joins in on the party. That's your bomb down, and Forest finds himself all by his lonesome. He was your fake player. That was a great read, because like I said, Happy wasn't sold at all. Forest did have a good initial start to that, but where there was no bodies showing up on the back of those smokes, it just becomes a little bit too obvious. So halftime's going to close out with 10 rounds in a row for EnVyUs. Great response from them after what looked like a great NiP start.
Yeah, thoughts, Con?
Certainly. So the bad news for NiP is the fact that they lost 10 straight rounds. But the good news is that with their legacy and 4 out of 5 members, original members, are still in the team, they can keep the composure up, they can keep the spirits high. So they have 5 rounds on a CT-orientated map. So surely they lost 10 rounds in a row, but that doesn't mean they cannot switch over to CT and play really good Counter-Strike. I was quite amazed how adaptive EnVyUs eventually played. Going aggressive with the sniper, Happy on catwalk, Shox pretty much roaming around the map and being extremely aggressive, often catching the NiP players off guard. But still a very open battle. Curious to see how the pistol round goes.
Well, you're going to see right now as we're back into it. One float player in mid, the rest of EnVyUs just going straight on top of the B site. And they get the opening frag on the Forest. There's a 1-for-1 trade-off. These CTs. NiP aggressively just pushing through the site. Now they're only down to 2 for now.
Happy's on the rotation from behind, so Alu's all that's left.
He won't get there in time.
He's got the bomb planter down, but no, can't get MBK.
The number game was just against NiP there.
They played for that retake. The problem was, well, entirely the number game was against them, and even worse so than that, Freiburg was stuck inside the site, so he was trying to stay alive long enough. He got caught out at the back side of the van, tried to get cheeky and go around behind them once they entered in, but when he went down, they had to basically rush out in force with only 3 members left, and it was never going to work. So EnVyUs now with 11.
We've got a heavy stack from NiP over towards the A. They do have Alu with that scout, sitting back on the CT stairs. And then a very defensive position from Freiburg. He's not even moving out of kitchen this time around. As EnVyUs realize there's no one in mid. The smoke's blocking up the window. I think they're also slightly concerned about Alu's scout, but normally can play it from CT stairs anyway. And they're bringing the bomb back to the stack of NiP. So EnVyUs, they tried to dummy. And now they're going to walk into the primary defense line of NiP.
See if Alu changes his angle. He's still looking toward that connector.
So we'll look for Get Right's vision. Sitting up on top of the stairs. Now he'll switch the angle. Sees him.
Oh,
claims
nice
one.
shot.
Already on Smiths. The bomb being visible too. And up comes Exist, taking out MBK. They're not getting the upper hand here, but they're definitely making a couple of weapons drop for EnVyUs.
Now it's all to the scout. 2 body shots, though, is all it's going to take. As
Wait,
Happy's
what?
weak as well. Kyo's the only one that really has full health. And if Alu can find him quick enough, it might make this interesting. He goes for the jump shot. A little bit of damage taken as a result, but he's still looking for more. No, Happy's going to get him over top of the box. And that shot, actually, 22 HP for Happy, could have gone back the other way to force a one-on-one.
It could have, but Kyo kept the attention of Alu, and that's what allowed him to then take the high side, because the smoke was blocking him up, so Alu couldn't see to the left, so he wasn't thinking, oh, maybe he's just going to walk through on me. He was thinking, I picked this guy off, I know where this guy is at least, and then we can retake. But EnVyUs, with 2 rounds in a row, NiP onto another pistol, a full eco, not a single thing being purchased up by NiP. This is their throwaway round. So they'll see what they can pick up. At this point, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, Alu, he's the first one to do it. But the plant goes down. EnVyUs only lose 1. And NiP will go for a buy round now.
So 13 already. Now they just play it 1 round at a time. In the position where, so long as they don't completely throw away their economy with 4 spies every round or unnecessary pistol purchases, they'll just play it every second round if they need to.
If that was a bug for me, they have enough money to buy for the next round too. I think it was a bug.
No, they should have enough if they lose this one out. The only one who won't will be Shox. They'll force it for Smiths if they want to. It'll be interesting. They could go for the double save, though, like I say, where they only need to play it 1 round at a time at this point. MBK, though, has already got Alu. That's detrimental, although Exist responds. But look at Kiyoshima, so aggressive all the way up, all the way down Catwalk, catching out Forrest in the ladder room. I don't think he expected him to be there quite so soon. So now it's a man advantage again for EnVyUs, and NiP not able to get anything going. This is their map choice, so this is not looking good at all. Get Right finally gets 1, but NBK finding him. Freiburg trading it back, but look at the HP now. 2 on 2. Kyo very weak. 9 for him, but Freiburg's got to find that shot first. He's got to find that angle, and he's not going to do it. They're falling back and heading toward A, and Exist has prematurely gone back toward Checkers.
Now they're going to have to do a full retake now with a late position. There is one moving over to CT stairs, but Kyo plants in a very defensive position. Obviously the one they know they've got, which is from the mid connector and jungle. So one moving up through jungle for the... That's Freiburg we're on board with right now. And Kyo, he's sitting inside the smoke. The flash will be there. So it is a 2-on-1 situation. It's on the T stairs and he knows it too. So Freiburg going to give the cover fire here. And Shox gets 1. Can he get the second? Oh. He can take the second as well. Ninjas in pajamas fail the retake. Can't get the defuse. And EnVyUs now 2 rounds away.
Exist got off that, and I think it would have been worth it to try and hold and force it, because it would have come down to the fact he would have had time to line up a shot, but take the chance that if he doesn't connect on one, he had a Galil, not an AK. He might have had a chance to hold that. So now they're back to pistols, and we're on 14 already. This map's going to be quicker than I would have thought by a long shot. NiP not able to get anything going. They lost that momentum. We talked about mentality, and they just can't get it going back. Finally, Get Right gets aggressive, but they've already got inside the A site behind him, so they'll smoke him out and just ignore him. They'll go in and try and get the bomb plant down. And yeah, look at them, completely annihilated. It's only Exist left.
That was wonderfully done by Shox. He realized that with his teammate going down inside a palace, the AK from behind him would have caused so many problems. So he just threw the Molotov up, so there was no way for Get Right to get any kind of good angle up against the planets, up against the Ts. And in fact, he even got the kill, so they didn't have to worry about that at all. So Ninjas in pajamas. It's a full buy round. Forest, Alu, Orps are up. Everything is up. And EnVyUs, they want to end this quickly. They're just making a full beeline for B. With flashes, smokes, blind as a bat. That was Forest on top of the truck, and they're in. But who's going to be the one to defend it? Freiburg, at least is able to claim out 1. But there's not much more joy. Alu getting double teamed. And leaves Get Right and Exist to perform the impossible. To push out from kitchen, to come in through... Well, he's not even over a kitchen. They're both going to have to come in through the kitchen area. Shock's finally going to put the plant down. Get Right. That's a very optimistic spot.
Yeah, he's trying to find at least one that
He's
Shox.
on 1 HP, man. He got 1.
He did get Shox, so now it's down to 2 on 3, but I'd call it a 1.5. And yeah, with that left, it's Get Right down. So I would say Freiburg and Alu drank the Red Bull. The rest of NiP might have drank the Team Biceps drink, because they didn't really show up that time.
Yeah.
You were so savoring that one,
Too early.
Too soon.
just coming in here and say that it's not often we see team of this sort, like these epic battles, EnVyUs versus VP, EnVyUs versus NiP, or Fnatic versus NiP, yeah, whoever, tier 1 teams being able to win 16 consecutive rounds. Maybe the hour is late, but as far as I know, that's the case. 16 straight rounds. Quite amazing.
Yeah,
strong
that's
play from
ridiculous.
Shocks as a start out during the CT. Lost 5 rounds, but then they felt like, okay, let's shift up a gear and being a bit more aggressive than we are now. And that paid off big time. Not too much to say about the T side of EnVyUs. They won the pistol round, and they forced NiP to gamble on the pistols. Not successfully. It was only up till the very last round where they were able to afford double snipers, and that's kind of what they needed at that point. Not enough though. Forrest got overthrown in bomb spot B, and obviously his teammates weren't able to recapture the bomb spot and defuse the bomb. So good game to EnVyUs. I think we have Inferno coming up in a few moments.
Where we have Inferno and Cash, I think, are the last maps left.
Yeah, but I mean, you touched on the point that just blows my mind, especially against a team like NiP, which we always credit for composure. We even mentioned that 16 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And
Probably never happened before.
I don't think that's... I think you're probably right. We'd have to look... I don't even think in 1.6 that would have happened with NiP. I can't picture that. I would have to dig through the history books, but I can't see that happening. I mean, the 10 on T... When they're playing T, they've already got 5. Okay, maybe I could see that, but not even picking up a single CT-sided round. That's just not what we're used to seeing.
That's crushing.
And it wasn't like you could say it was. Obviously, they switched over Forrest and Get Right, and B was a little bit weaker. Freiburg got caught off guard a number of times there, but maybe they go back to Get Right on Cat. I mean, that's one of those things where you change things and now you're hesitant about it.
Yeah, if you add another attribute to the 16-0 number here, well, it's not 16-0, but 16 consecutive rounds. The rounds were actually quite close though. It was a lot of
apparently Fnatic
situations.
16-0 NiP on Inferno, someone says. I'd have to look that up, but
yeah,
regardless.
Thorin, where are you? But yeah, impressive nevertheless. Was a lot of close rounds that could have went either way, but here we are, 1-0 EnVyUs, and we're moving into Inferno.
Yeah, that we will. So we'll have a short break as the players get themselves ready. In the meantime, remember to subscribe to the Twitch channel because Twitch is working again. It's alive. And you can win yourself the Gut Knife Blue Steel, as we're pointing to right below. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel. It puts $2.50 as well into the prize pool directly to the competition, making it bigger and better. Crowdfunding CSGO style without being inside the game, created by Twitch. So please support the channel, get those wonderful emotes, perhaps win yourself a Gut Knife, and I will see you back here for map number 2 in just a moment. Reach through high, and Shocks. The crossfire that was also there between Keo and Shocks. That's too much. Ninjas in Pajamas are going to fail in this push. Exist at least is able to pick up one. Right now, both of these AWPs, they're going to get lost as Shocks takes out Alu and Forrest, leaving the last remaining player, Get Right.
Nades over Chinese fireworks in toward that site, and Exist has to run through the fire. Speaking of it, he's going to have to go because his teammate made the decision, and that slow draw time at the CZ can't even get it out.
Small gap there. They'll let him see the catwalk. He just walks in. Perfect play by him. Sitting up on top of the stairs. Now he'll switch the angle. Sees him. Claims
nice
one.
shot.
Already on Smiths. The bomb being visible too. And up comes Exist, taking out MBK. They're not getting the upper hand here, but they're definitely making a couple of weapons drop for EnVyUs.
No, just scout. 2 body shots, though, is all it's going to take. His Happy's weak as well. Keo's the only one that really has full health.
2-on-1 situation. It's on the T stairs and he knows it too. So Freiburg going to give the cover fire here. And Shocks gets one. Can he get the second? He can take the second as well. Ninjas in Pajamas failed the read.